morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the WTRL Team Time Trial number 86. We're out on the Greater London Flat course. We've got today for you the Viennas across. I believe we'll be able to cover a lot of the Viennas out there today, as we do have some new categories in Viennas, women-specific categories. And then we will be in with the lattes as well as the espressos out there today. Riders are about to kick off out on course. Dave, I'm Nathan Guerra, Dave Towle, obviously. We got a couple of things to cover up real quick. Next week, WBR, we've got an awesome charity event going on. Lots of details on that. The whole idea, you can head over to WTRL.racing for a lot of it. The goal, though, is raising 50,000 is the current target. We're almost at 16K. For raising for World Bicycle Relief with 3R, Dave. And pretty awesome program that they got going on there. I know that's close to your heart, Dave.
Yeah, thanks, Nathan. Absolutely. There's just quickly go to their website, worldbicyclerelief.org, and you can really learn about the story. It'll touch you. It's really basically using bicycles for good to help people that really need it in sub-Saharan Africa. It's insane what a bicycle can do when it's proper. And Nathan, the other thing, we talked about this last week, but that I wanted to add is the support that goes in around those bicycles. There's been a lot of jobs. There's these centers that they put in. So you're building up. And so there's mechanics that are getting these toolkits that are being trained. A lot of them are young women as well. It has been incredibly empowering in the best of ways in these communities of putting people to work, doing good. So please, to the teams out there, do it. You're going to feel really great about it, getting together and raising some money. And this is one of the best asks that you can make amongst your community of people that give, that will love hearing about World Bicycle Relief. Right? Isn't it a fun story to tell, Nathan? Every year, Yeah, it really is. And you could go on forever, but I know we've got racing to talk about here. 86, Nathan. Have you ever worked in a restaurant in your life?
Yep, I managed a burger / custard shop, actually.
Okay.
So when I was just out of high school, or actually in high school, leaving high school, just out.
Okay, almost all of us have, I think.
Lots of custard, man, and lots of flipping burgers.
That makes sense for Wisconsin, the custard part for sure. That's for those that don't know, that's an American style of ice cream. But anyways, to get on to the point here.
Dave. You just called it ice cream.
It's okay. Sort of like, right. They would take offense. Definitely. No, I'm with you. So 86 in the restaurant world means we're out of it. You actually would say we're 86ing that guy if someone was being too rowdy in the bar. So 86 is an interesting number to make. Here we are, though. A lot to look forward to. So many changes right now, Nathan, in what the WTRL are doing. The Vienna classes, we're activating a whole lot of changes there by popular demand. And I think we're pretty close to moving into that new era.
That's a good thing. Let's take a quick look, though. I want to, one more thing on the World Bicycle Relief. We do have a quick little video to give everybody an idea of what they're up to, and it's always good to see it in images. So let's check that out, and then we'll jump right on into the racing. So next week, that's the target goal. That's what World Bicycle Relief is all about, is getting mobility. And I think we take it for granted when it comes to where we're living at here, Dave, and the reality of, motor vehicles, the kind of infrastructures that we have, and our ability to just get things done, and how much comfort and ability and wealth that helps us create here in our countries, well, at least in my country, our country where we live, and many countries around the world that are going to be out here cycling on the Zwift platform. And the reality that the power that bicycles can give, those Buffalo bikes, those are hardy bikes, and they're, I mean, real quickly, I want to make a comparison here. Way back in the day, giving somebody a mule that could get something done, how that would change a household, right? In a farming household or something, very similar type situation, sure. Huge amount of value. 100%. And I think just to give people an idea of what they're up to, because they're watching these people ride bikes, it's like, well, what's the big deal? But it's a big deal.
I'd like to just say, Nathan, and then we can get into the racing for sure. But that one bicycle, we'll say it's just under $150 to buy one. It'll be activated. It'll keep a 14-year-old girl in school where she otherwise would not stay in school. It'll keep a carpenter working, because now his range goes from what you can walk in with your tools is about 5 kilometers per day. Now that range is 20 kilometers, and he can do, or she can do, a whole lot more work, and it will keep a family together. So that's what a bicycle can do, because when you give that to that 14-year-old girl to keep her in school, that bicycle then gets handed from family member to family member to use throughout the day, but they all take care of it and love it and respect it. And this is the future, folks. Let's get on board. If we don't hit $50,000, I'll be surprised, to tell you the truth, Nathan, because I've seen how this community, the WTRL community, our community at Zwift Community Live, I've seen how they respond. They've never let me down before.
Dave's putting the pressure on, boys and girls. Putting the pressure on. Loving it. All right, let's jump right on in here. We're going to jump first in.
I'm a pitch man now, Nathan.
You're a pitch man. I like it. Let's go ahead and jump right on in, though, with the Vienna class, though. That's where we're going to be starting out here. We do have, it looks like, the Sea Chasers, the first ones that we have out on course here, hammering away.
Boy. Coming down cats and dogs out there.
It's I mean, where we are, it's London, so I think
it's that time of year.
It's that time of year. We're set up a little bit here. It was interesting a little bit. Well, maybe I should. It's cold. It's cold here, and I get these comparisons online once in a while where people are like, "Oh, it's freezing! It's freezing!" And I'm like, "Do you know what freezing is?" I saw Laverick released a video saying how cold it was in London, in the UK yesterday. It's -2, and then I recognized it was Celsius he was talking about.
Celsius,
It's probably raining there on some days. No, it's not cold there. I'm sorry to say, not cold one bit. But here we go. We got the Chasers hammering away. It looks like they're getting chased down by the Vikings right behind them. They're out of Norway there, Dave.
Yeah, Nathan, I guess I should take care of some business here, because today's 2 laps out on the GLF, the Greater London Flat course, one of the well-known and well-loved routes that we race on. 29 total kilometers today. So there's some bullet points for you. 29K of racing. The teams here, so this is classic WTRL, start with 8. Time taken off of the 4th. I always have to remember, Nathan, that we have people viewing for the first time on any given Thursday. This is the 86th consecutive week that we've raced. And so Vienna class is going to be the top women. And Nathan, I did note that the choppers are reinforcing. They're going to be coming in hot now. So I think we're moving into, I'm going to call it, well, so to be fair, I only really picked up on this phenomenon around week 50 or so, but I would say that we're moving into a post-World Championship phase. There's going to be a new group of riders who are going to pick up on Zwift and get into the racing here. We're going to find yet another higher level.
Which will be hard to do, I think. I think a lot will be jumping in here and going, oh, okay, this is real deal. Because I think... I think after World Championships, I think there is going to be a reality, exactly like you said. There's going to be new people coming on the platform. They're going, oh, okay, well, this community racing, whatever. Let's see what this is really all about. And they will find out very quickly, though, that these are the fastest athletes in the world at this
Absolutely.
discipline. And that if you want to mix it up with them, you will have to put together a really, really solid team of similar level. It will have to be world class. It will have to be world class athletes, and you'll have to learn how to race a team time trial in the digital world, just like we saw in the World Championships yesterday. A similar situation where you had to have a certain kind of athlete, you had to have a certain type of technique, and now similar here with the TTT. And this being a totally different type of racing from what we saw with the scratch race has its own genre now that's obviously developed in Zwift.
Yeah, well put. And I think that there's so many layers to that. When any regular old person jumps on Zwift, it turns out it's much, much harder. I think the same thing with racing bikes, too, is what doesn't look anywhere near as hard as it is when you jump in a Cat 5 race. How many fit guys have jumped into a race and then been dropped 3 laps in and said, holy cow, I didn't know that was like that. Well, Swift is the same way. Anything hard is going to be like that. But this team time trialing discipline that has been perfected, really, WTRL didn't invent the team time trial. That's existed really since racing began. But what they did invent was it on this esports format, and they really created a phenomenon. And this, it's a little bit different. There's a lot of similarities too, but it's a little bit different than in real life team time trial. But again, laws of physics that apply out there apply out here. But we're taking a look. So I was thinking about it this morning, Nathan, when I was riding. Anytime that you're dangling off the front of your team in a team time trial, it's like pounding sand, right? Because you're wailing away, but you're not making an impact. And so this team needs to regroup here. They just need to re-strategize a little bit as we're looking at the first 5K-ish. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's going on right now here.
So we got, it does look like, well, I was actually going to speak to anybody who wanted to just jump on into this in the same way that you just talked about. We see some disorganization, it looks like, with Gellestram, as you can see. And I think a little bit strong on the climb going into one of the only uphill sections that are going to be on the Greater London Flat. But I think that one thing, if somebody were to just jump in, like we saw in scratch racing, or you spoke to scratch racing, where it's like, whoa, off the back immediately, what is this? Was not expected. It's mayhem. Similar if you just jump into a TTT, where these racers, they've qualified, they're experienced here, but even here you do see a little bit of disorganization. I think somebody who tries to just throw a TTT time trial together and doesn't do any research at all is just like, oh yeah, we're just going to go out and take our turns and just not practice or anything. They would have absolute mayhem, total disorganization, people all over the map kind of a thing. And now they've got it back together, though, and we're going to see if the Vikings can pull something off here as the times will start coming in.
Like the U.S. team in the Nations Challenge.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. Did you ride in that challenge? I mean,
so I did. I did. So I didn't want to be an anchor, though. So I rode in the South African version.
Oh,
of it.
gotcha. I don't understand why that would happen. Didn't want to be an anchor.
Well, it was timing. It was timing for me.
All about timing. Gotcha. Or
wanted
just
to
not
ride
having to
the
take
world's
responsibility for getting whooped by Australia and Katie Bates, probably, is what I'm thinking.
Oh, boy. Hey, by the way, what a great time we had. Now, this is a team that's got it right here, focusing on the positive. But what a great time we had talking about the Worlds with Kate Bates. She's awesome. I am such a huge fan of her, and I thought she brought a lot of legitimacy to our chat yesterday. You can find that in the archives, our vodcast that we did.
Yeah, we had a great Zwift Community Live vodcast. We'll be doing those more often. Lots of topics. You got any topics that you want us to cover as well? Go ahead and put them in the chat. Send us a message. The easiest way, actually, to get our attention is going to be on Twitter, most likely, tagging us in something that isn't so much of a constantly coming at you social media platform. Something, tag either myself. Facebook at this point.
Mix it up a little.
Mix it up a little bit. It'd be a little bit easier to find it if you tag at Z Community Live, at Nathan Guerra, and then at Towle. Dave Towle over on Twitter, or Katie Bates or Anna as well. Anna Zwift Racer. All four of those, if we get any of those, we'll see them and we'll bring those topics to the podcast. We appreciate any of them that you want to bring our way, and we'll sift through it and see how it goes. Now, looking through here, let's go ahead. We're not going to get any times here from the Vienna real quickly, so I'm going to actually jump on over to the Espresso and see how things are going, because, oh my God, They Killed Kenny are absolutely flying right now.
Oh boy! So we do have splits. Hopefully, we'll be able to get to you at 8, 14, and 22. Stay tuned there. Oh wow! So this is a rider that we were just focusing on a couple of days ago, back in the ZRL. Fraser, super strong. You can see it looks like a monster pull right now, Nathan.
Yeah, Fraser for 6.61, 149 beats per minute. I wonder if he's just coming through. I mean, that is a very, now it's starting to rise up here, 151. So I think he's just starting to pull through. With
making 6 watts per kilo, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's kind of the freight train on this team. We saw him taking down just about every single sprint. I think he did take down every sprint in his ZRL race the other day.
At least.
Yeah, very, very strong rider here for, oh my God, They Killed Kenny. It does look like Griner just hanging out 3.8. He's distancing them just a tad here. Now, one thing, if you didn't know, a great way to do fan view and get an idea, or at least when you're watching the broadcast and get an idea if it's ever used for this camera view, we like to use this to give you an idea of what's happening with the meters below there, because within 3 meters there is a draft. Or if you're racing and you're trying to do a team time trial and you notice that you are distancing the person behind you and it goes out beyond that 5 meters, they're not coming back to your wheel, especially if you don't see their watts per kilogram increasing there. So it's a great way to not have to use a different camera, but watching the meters at the bottom of the screen gives you a great idea of how to keep your team together.
I've always wondered, Nathan, as we watch a team fighting to do just that. They know what they need to do here. Good job, guys. They're just going to glue it back together. So, Nathan, I've always wondered, and I don't have enough of a feel for it to be able to tell when I'm riding. Does it matter if you're so in real life, there's that real sweet spot where it's like 6 inches behind the wheel of the rider in front of you? Does it matter if you're 2 meters back or 1 meter back in that 3 meter window? Is the draft even more effective when you're closer? Or is it just you're in or out?
If it goes out to a certain distance, it actually does decrease. Zwift have shown the drafting mechanism in colors
metrics
before.
Of it. Okay.
It didn't show the not necessarily
like
actual
map,
number. Yeah, they showed the heat
colder
map
when
exactly.
You get further away. Yeah, right.
Yeah, they did show that heat map a couple of times on broadcast, and you did see that the draft did go out a good ways back, but it got weaker the further out you went. So it definitely gets stronger the closer you get to the avatar, according to that heat map. So from what we saw on that, there's even draft around the riders and around the pack too. You saw it was definitely not red or orange or light orange, around those spots. It was more in those light blue, so meaning it's much weaker around the group, but there's definitely still a draft around the group. It's not like you are solo. So now I am being told quickly just that our data is struggling at this point, everybody. We will bring it in as quickly as possible. So we'll be speaking over Zwift images as well as just trying to get an idea of where things stand by clicking through the time gaps. The time gaps are on 1 minute, everyone. 1 minute are the time gaps that these teams go out at. So it does look like, oh my God, I Killed Kenny and the Lost Torpedoes are right up against each other here. Not really much time gained or lost. That 5 seconds difference can a lot of times be just where you're at on course. Many times I've been in a team time trial situation where I think we're up by 6 seconds and really we're down by 10. So unless you get out to like 10 seconds difference, you're not absolutely sure that you've actually got that time yet. So Lost Torpedoes, they're chasing down though, as they've brought back 6 according to the riders nearby list there.
Just like I saw, they just figured out this week that Mount Everest is actually a meter taller than they thought it was. So everybody who Everested is going to have to redo their effort.
I saw the
funny thing is, almost
I saw Phil's post. I saw Phil's post saying this is the worst thing of 2020. That was a great. That
is funny.
Yeah.
Every rider I met goes at like 10, 20 meters beyond to have a little bit of a safety. anyway, so I doubt that'll be a real problem. So yeah, as we wait for data to kick in, I had an idea, Nathan. You know how when you're a new employee, you don't get to chime in with ideas, really? You should probably wait for a while to learn the lay of the land. Well, I feel like now I'm coming up on my 36th WTRL Team Time Trial. I've got an idea. I want to put it out there.
Let's hear it.
So tomorrow, next week, we're doing our World Bicycle Relief event, charity that we're trying to raise $50,000 for. And I know that it exists in game, is the Buffalo bike. I've actually ridden on a Buffalo bike, the exact bike. They're heavy. It's built to last. 100% built to last. It's a super efficient, simple. It's the beautiful, beautiful bicycle. So how about we make everybody race on Buffalo bikes next week?
That'd be actually really cool. I think we had a little bit of discussion about that. So we'll see how
everyone
it
just
ends
shook
up
their
playing
head.
out. Well, we're gonna leave that one
Mark
be. We're
later.
gonna leave that one to be
We'll ask
for
Mark
now.
later.
So we'll ask
Yeah,
Mark
okay.
later about that one. So from what I'm
Hey,
seeing,
here's some
but we are
times
getting
coming
a
in.
little bit of times coming in. Yeah, it's good to see. Kurtzman, you're cycling 8:34, 8:39, Vikings Valhalla, which I believe we may be looking. Now, there's a lot of Vikings teams. So Vikings Valhalla, Vikings Mjolnir, I believe, maybe a little ways back actually. So there's 3 different Vikings teams, I think, in this group here, from what I'm seeing. So we'll see how this ends up playing out for them, as I think this team is a little ways back from there. But Valhalla right up against Fultwagner, and then it's going to be Tugas Nada and ZRG RTT, all very close, though. Look at how close this racing is. This is within about 10, 15 seconds of each other. Nobody's walking away today.
There's an alarming number of Vikings at this point. This is where you start to wonder, should we say something? So anyways, Kirkmeyer E-Cycling is a super strong team that have been on a roll lately. I should shout out our Swedish friends, speaking of Vikings, who are the fastest nation in the world. Congratulations on your ride out there. That was no surprise to anybody who knows their Zwift, right, Nathan? If you were laying down odds in Vegas on the nation, Sweden would have been short money.
Yeah, it was good. They dominated in the Nations Challenge for sure. Let's take a quick look as we look at the times coming in. We only have them for latte at this point, so we'll stick with lattes for a little while here. Very close racing. Everybody is within about 40 seconds at this point, so this is by no means decided. 11th and 10th place still battling up by only 2 seconds. 3 seconds to the Rhinos there. But we do have our competition on the week for the poster competition. We did have some selections. I'll start in with mine. I'm loving, they played to the heartstrings a little bit here. That's for sure. The Fireflies, now, I don't know, this is supposed to be kind of like an exciting sports cast, and instead we're hanging out but next to a fire, or some sort of, what is, are we like a glowing firefly flower? But okay, thanks a lot to the Fireflies. I'm liking that. And then we had, what got me was the fact that they set the landscape in London somehow there. So with the tower. So I was digging that. And then the effort that was put in to put our little emoji men in there is kind of fun. So digging the Fireflies. Again, this is the poster competition. If you want to get involved in the poster competition, you can do so. We give a shout out to the posters that we pick, myself, Dave, and Martin, every single week. And go ahead and head on over to the WTRL group. You'll see where the posters are posted in the photos, and you can go through those. Martin, he went ahead and said close to his heart was the Mr. Bean Dirty Chronicle we're seeing here. I'm digging this. And the reason he said is because it reminded him of being home. 2 of 10 riders recommends the Tron bike. The other 8 uses it themselves. So that's classic Mr.
Bean. Yeah. And so heartstrings, he said in the pre-production chat. Which is that's nice. So they actually push the right buttons to win, and
they do.
Job.
They know how to push. Now here, this one though, Dave. What's happening here?
Holy cow! So this is mine first. I love this. Love the Clash, but what I found, it's always the little things, and the fact that the supporting acts are all the teams that they race against.
That was my favorite part as
TFC
well. When you
Hurricane.
pointed that
Yeah.
out, when you pointed out that the supporting acts were the teams that they were racing against, they weren't the main show. That's a perfect little dig that they're doing there. And then the smashing of the bike is so perfect as
Yes.
well. Like, now, I don't know,
Yes.
is that like in level 1 Zwift bike, though? That's not the Tron bike, is it? Like, why would you be smashing
No.
your Tron bike? I would hope not.
Yeah, we enjoyed this one, guys. Really good job. So TFC Hurricane. I'm glad that we all didn't select the same poster this week. It was a nice mix out there. So keep it up. Always impressed with your work. Speaking of dirt, let's jump right in with one of the dad's indoors riding trainers. Nathan is a dirt himself. I have to say, I should do some research on this. When I first got involved with Zwift, ODZ was this insane thing to me of more than 1,000 people on one club. Well, these days, 1,000 people on a club is not outstanding at all. There's plenty of teams that are that large out there, but dirt is one of the biggest, right, Nathan?
Yeah, it is. Dirt
Is that fair?
There, I mean, it's hard to, I don't keep track at all any
hard to
longer.
say. How do you
There's so
know, right?
many out there at this point. We could give a shout out to the community and be like, hey, what's your numbers right now to
Let
get
us
an
know.
idea of kind of
Yeah,
where
let
people
us
are
know.
at as far as total club members in their Zwift, in their Zwift clubs, in their Zwift teams. But yeah, dirt is definitely going to be one of the largest. It's in the thousands for sure. The one thing I did want one more shout out before we move on from the poster competition. Suddenly, Pete Butler is Gandalf. That is another one that we didn't pick it from our. We didn't pick it. But I thought that was absolutely hilarious. That there's a quote on there that team likes to use the Lord of the Rings. Things are only impossible until they're not. Stuart with an exclamation mark with Pete Butler quote from the Dirt Digglers, and then it's a picture of Gandalf, like as if Gandalf has said this, but it's Pete Butler. Like, I don't know. That one was really, and there's no context given, so it's one of those classic fill in the gaps and So it's a great one. So a little bit of a hashtag fake news, like you have Lincoln saying something about smartphones or something. Anyways.
Absolutely right. Exactly. Nathan, one of the things I've loved is how these teams have bonded together, and it's one of the best parts of what happened in COVID is finding that group that you're accountable to, and showing up every Thursday for WTRL has obviously means a lot to thousands of us, myself included. So this has been a lifesaver, to say the least, as we get some more times coming in from the 14K checkpoint. It looks like a 20:08 is going to be 5 seconds quicker there, but boy, we got ourselves a Donnybrook, ladies and gentlemen. This course always brings out the best in our racers. So the first of the Vikings.
Look
how close it is, Nathan.
Mjolnir were the lowest seeded team though coming in, and they are smashing this. Like they went out first. Maybe they got some ringers to come on in. Now you got your hammer weight at 4.0 watts per kilogram here. So I have a feeling they're like, all right, we're done with the bottom of the barrel. We got to go searching for some better Vikings here. Oh, but it looks like we've got ZRGRTTT coming on through with a 10-second better, though. So going to have to put some work in still as they're about halfway, a little more than halfway through their race.
It is on like Donkey Kong. It's been a while since I've said that. It feels good because it is. This is super cool, Nathan. 10 seconds there. The Vikings are going to have to go to another level here right outside of their body. And we're updating. Oh, my goodness. Kirkmeyer. This is unreal. 19:24. We've got a new fast time at the 14-kilometer checkpoint. So, Nathan, hit that, or we have collectively hit the refresh button here at the midpoint of this race. So it's 2 laps out on the Greater London Flat Circuit. Most teams are out on the final ronde here in London, and that's the fast time, 19:24. You can see it's a 19:58 for ZRGR3. TTT3. It's a 20:08 in third now for Vikings Monir.
Looking here at 19:24, this is the team that just set that at the 14-kilometer mark. It's going to be Kirchmer for the lattes right now. 19:58 ZRG. Look at all those German flags. Maybe a little bit of
Ridiculous.
motivation as they now have this world champion. Oh man,
Oh
absolutely
boy.
flying in the
Like
lattes
these
here.
guys, like these guys needed even more motivation, right, Nathan? Half of this team was on that world championship squad that we had here in the WTRL.
Loving it
Embarrassment of
here.
riches.
That's for sure. We do have some data coming on through, I'm being told. I want to check and see how things are playing out in the espressos because they're going to be finishing up really quickly. We also have Doppio out there too, just so everybody knows. And we will only have the checkpoints though so Doppio and the espresso are two separate categories that have been split out now. Doppio is going to be your A plus. Espresso is going to be your A's. So things have been separated out a little bit there still. Z-Sun Red Giants, a 1738 currently coming in from them. We do have Innovation there with a 1749. Vision Deepak, 1756. So that's the situation. Let's go ahead and jump on in, though, with the Espressos and see how things are playing out. Lost Torpedoes, we're still sitting in with them. Let's see how the... Go ahead here, Dave.
Yeah, so this is Cryogen that we're looking at right now. But before we go there, Nathan, I just got some information in. So you know how I've said hundreds of times one of the great things about Zwift is you can go so hard, it doesn't matter. You can't crash, physically crash. Sure, you can have a technical, but you're never going to wipe out on your bike in Zwift. Well, that's no longer true. Just got a report in from the United Kingdom that, you know, the Dirt Chasers, of course you do, one of our favorite teams out here. Well, they had a rider named Anthony who at the end of the race last week, he went so deep, he basically blacked out, panicked, fell off into his tumble dryer, and is out this week. So they wanted to wish
goodness.
Anthony. Yeah, it sounded like quite a scene. Yeah. Yeah, they don't have video of it, or at least they're not sharing that video. He's okay, so don't worry. He'll be back. But Anthony, our thoughts are with you, and maybe not quite so much. I think that was extra that you gave a week ago, but he's fine. It's all with the tongue in cheek, right, Nathan? They're joking about it, I should say. So, Anthony, hang in there, buddy.
So we do have a separation between the Doppio and Espresso this week. We'll see. We do see the times are fairly separated, so it does make sense as far as the ability level goes. You do see the VCRT dogs at the bottom of this Doppio here trying to get the better of, and the Espressos, as you do see here as well. There is really that separation in ability where the Espressos are kind of just trying to push over 5.0 watts per kilogram, where a lot of the Doppios are going to be that 5.0 plus for their functional threshold power. So there is that separation. And also we do have some updates coming in the next weeks where we may be covering across a couple of events throughout Platinum League and not just Platinum League, where we're able to kind of get an idea because quickly, Dave, you want to help out here where I think some people are like, wait, what's happening? Is this a single race? Are there other times that are coming in throughout the day? Yes, there are other times that are coming. We've already had Zone 1, 2, and 3 kick off prior to the Platinum League, actually.
Yeah, Nathan, in my time, we've seen, so there are basically 9 different events that happen around the globe. That scheduling makes sense as we follow the sun. Now, what used to be the case was the Platinum League would have 9 of the top 10 times from around the world. But when we were racing, there were still hundreds of teams that hadn't yet raced. So every now and then, the top 10 would change after we were done with our broadcast. And a lot of times when we would present our top 10 at the end of a day of racing in the Platinum League, you'd see that a team from an earlier zone, it was almost always Australia or New Zealand, but coming out of that part of the world. It made complete sense. But so because of the fact that you can't expect people to be so if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, like I saw Sarah Gigante at Worlds, it was 2 o'clock in the morning when she was racing. It's far from convenient or even really great for physiology. Your body just isn't geared up. So, and long story short, I think this is a great idea because a lot of the best rides of the day don't come out of the Platinum League, and it just speaks to the fact that this is a global league, right? I mean, Nathan, there's some things that you just can't change, and one of them is that the Earth is massive and it's round, and it's not the same time everywhere.
Yeah,
right?
that's
That's
yeah.
not
We're
going to
not
change, is it?
we're not gonna change it. I mean, sometimes I get up in the morning and just want to like hit the sun back down. Like just pop, like nope,
Me too.
like just go right now. But the sun's gonna keep coming no
Come
matter what
back.
you do. And
Yeah.
we do have Reed here.
Well, the
Arrow
great Bob
Unicorns
Marley
as we're
says,
jumping in.
no one can stop the time. And that's true. And that's something that these team time,
54. Nobody's stopping that time. Well, see, so I raced like a
no.
girl. And to be honest, Sox for Watts have almost been like the son of unstoppable momentum. But I raced like a girl. They're creeping up here. They keep on doing this where they're just within, this week, that 15-ish seconds there, that's just out of reach, I think. The first time there at 8:34 was maybe reachable, but I think they're kind of getting to that point where we're not going to maybe be able to make this happen. Choppers here, I did see they did get a pickup, I believe, with Natalie Lawrence, which is great to see here jumping in with the Choppers. So that's a really big deal. And this is her... I think this is her world too when it comes to triathlete, right? So that's where she comes from. Good to see her jumping into this. Yeah, definitely. So I race like a girl though. Whoa, this is looking organized and like a speed train here. 48 kilometers per hour on the flats. That is some fast time. Pamela Levine, you're coming on through. And Sox Watts, 44 seconds back. It's going to be pole on the chase. This is going to be a hot one to the finish line.
Agreed, Nathan. We're going to be talking about Sisu a lot more in 2021. That team is really getting, well, they've always had their act together. I'm not saying that they're just figuring this out, but they're starting to refine it and finding that extra little bit. Is this going to be? It is the bronze medal winner from the World Championships just yesterday, jumping out and racing part, obviously, of the High Note team. That's really, really cool.
Cecilia Hansen
here
on the podium yesterday, bronze medal.
Good
solid result for her. Very good for her. Sitting on the back here, maybe spinning the legs out a little bit after a monster effort yesterday, and then jumping right on in. So good to see her out here racing with the ladies, and going to be taking a winning time and barring anything happening here. So this is going to be Sox for Watts, WRT, Lethbridge is there, Hubach, the classic trio. Is Whitelaw in here, or who is riding? No, it's gonna be Lethbridge. Excuse me, that's riding for Hino. I forget about that pickup sometimes that happened this season. So Paul Sidlick now making way to the front. Actually, I didn't know that Sidlick was riding today. Good to see Stephanie Sidlick from Dixon.
I did not either.
That's always cool
there's
to
a lot
see
of changes
between them all,
right now.
right? You got Turbo.
Yeah.
That's what I like about Sox Watts. It's a true community mixture team. It's this team that's really thrown together between all the fast community trade teams out there. Right. You got the KISS Racing team here. I'm going to show that quickly here. Turbo there as well with Leah Thorvaldsen. Absolutely love it.
With Sox for Watts, if you want to be on this team, you better come legit, without any doubt. This is an all-star team. Every Kirsten Pohl here, the German rider, what a talent she is. A wattage cottage. I mean, there's no weak link on this team, and that's why they have this the greatest winning percentage that I've seen in any of the cycling disciplines. This is next level what Sox for Watts has done. Leah Thorvaldsen, is there a classier human being? I don't think so. And man, she can make the watts like nobody's business. Nathan, how long can this team keep this going, right? We're into now basically a 30-race run where they haven't missed a step. That's more than half a year. No one can stay on top forever. That's what they call a rhetorical question. You don't have to answer, right? But, I mean, because, that's the thing. It's fluid. This team is constantly able to bring on new riders, and people want to ride with them because they have such a great vibe on that team. And you get a free pair of unicorn socks.
I do think that this is a team, though, with Katherine Curry on the front. We've seen her in the ZRL. She's super motivated. This is the team that's on their heels, and we do see them getting a little bit of time right now. They've pulled out a little bit of time. I did see in the rider nearby list, it was almost going back out to 50 seconds. Interesting to see, but now back down to 37. It was probably just a change up in the gradients. Gradient changes on course will change things very quickly, but Katherine Curry, this is a very motivated athlete from what we saw her doing in the ZRL on that Harrogate course. this past week. I think looking at her pulling 6 watts per kilogram, 350 watts right now, putting the herd on at 47 kilometers per hour. This is going to be motivating for this team, I think, and I think the rest of the team as well. They are on the hunt. Now, I want to finish this idea here, though, that what Socks for Watts is about. Team, for those that are new to the racing community, and wait, Turbo, what's Turbo? Hino? What are these teams? You can see some of these team jerseys that you see here are some of the longest standing community esports teams we have had in the racing world. Team Turbo, one of the original teams, started out with the mad scientist himself, Greg Leal, a name that a lot of people are like, who's Greg Leal? But if you're old school, you've been around ZCL for a while, you know exactly who the mad scientist is. And that's a guy who knew everything when it came down to game theory, a professor of game theory, actually. We've had on the program a lot of times. Hopefully we'll see Greg Leal with the return to the world of Zwift racing, but did help with the start out of Team Turbo. And they do have their kit in game. KISS Racing Team, the longest standing, well-established racing group out on Zwift. One of the first top-level premier racing leagues that was out there, obviously, there. Type 2 Fun, as you can see their kit in game here as well. And then what's interesting is Rachel Elliott used to ride in that kit, was on the KISS Racing Team for the longest time, and then they launched this year this Newberry Velo, actually. So herself and Glenn Knight leading that up. Glenn used to be running the KISS Racing Team and then stepped away, now with the Newberry with Rachel here. So, and then there's Hino, which are just obviously the dominant team here. But a lot of these riders, they've all ridden amongst each other on a lot of these teams together throughout the years. Of course, don't want to count out Velocity Vixen, as you do see Stephanie Siglick there in the orange and purple right next to there. So you can see up across here, it really does the breadth of the community here with Socks for Watts.
Yeah, as far as I know, this is the first time I've seen Sidlick in the mix with this team, so that's big for her and great for them as well. She's a rider on a very a great trajectory right now as well. I'd like to, if you want to use an analogy here, this is almost like looking at in the Premier League of football overnight, like 1 or 2 riders from Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, just a rider or 2 from the best teams in the league all coming together. And it is a force to be reckoned with. But that's the thing. Sisu has a real chance now to find another level by being motivated by beating these women here. And having the choppers back is going to be fun as well as they start to reignite that program. They haven't gone away, but obviously in real life demands and things are always there's the ebb and the flow. Starting to get some check times in now. Sisu, I raced like a girl. And this is going to be based now on the fact that they went out a little bit earlier. We still haven't seen Socks for Watts WRT or... So Wonder Women must have scratched today is my guess, which it's that time of year. I understand that completely. But let's watch and see how this plays out. That Socks for Watts WRT time is in. And, well, there you go, Nathan, about what you'd expect. They're holding on to about a half-minute lead right now. WRT, Socks for Watts.
Jumping in with OTR Blur here real quickly as they are finishing up their race. We'll move our way backwards to get an idea of how things are happening behind. I do believe we do have a solid ride here coming. Is that going to be Mazda actually coming from the Slazo? That's going to be Slovenian Zwifters here. And this is a full Slovenian team. Mazda is going to be streaming over on Twitch. Well-known rider amongst the Twitch community. They're being chased hard, it looks like, though, by the Vision Boys here with Dimitri. Actually, Dimitri, what is happening with Dimitri here? Maybe just off the back. Interesting enough to see, just looking to try and finish up his race. So, Barnes here, Innovation,
far.
Doppio. This is going to be a top team in the Doppios.
It's a little over 29K out there, so they're not that far from the line, a little over 1 kilometer here. 5 riders together. They look like they're moving along at almost 50K per hour. It's kind of the benchmark you're looking for on flat ground. 4 is okay. No reason to wait. Keep going, boys. Don't stall the beans now.
Those red giants are just unstoppable, it seems like. A solid 11 seconds here. Innovation trying to chase that down. 8 seconds between Innovation, Deepak, and it looks like Vision. Slovenian Zwifters there, a little ways out of 28.05. VCRT Dogos there, 28.13. Dogos were the first to start, so I think they're already going to be across the line. Vision Deepak are already across the line as well. really it's going to be up to Innovation to hold on to that time that they have against Vision as they're coming to the line here, as James Barnes here is making a move. We may be losing images here. Nope, we're not. Good to see, good to see, good to see. Wondering if I can
For people,
really,
Nathan,
as
who-
quickly as I possibly can, bring
Sure.
in Mr. Barnesy's.
I was just going to say, could you
Twitch.
show us how you do that for people who don't know their way around Twitch? So let's just say that I know that James does a Twitch. I want to watch him. How do I find it if I'm just starting from scratch at home? I go to Twitch TV.
Yeah, head
first,
on over to
right?
Twitch TV and then search in the Zwift category. Actually, I'll show you guys here real quickly as fast as I possibly can.
Right.
Look at the suffering on this guy's face. Let me see if I can bring this in. I mean, this is absolutely.
Ay, ay, ay.
I just missed it here. He just finished. You can see the look on the face there, across the line. If you want to head on over here to Twitch TV, you can find real quickly. I'll show you guys. You can find this is the situation here for Twitch TV. You go to the game category, twitch.tv. Head on over to the game categories. You can go to browse, and then you head to games. Search Zwift up in the upper right-hand corner. I mean, up in the top there. If you search Zwift, you go to games. Any way you want to do it there. You can see all of these people are actually streaming their Zwift experience actually right now.
Awesome.
So, and this is going to be Barney
great.
here. He's got 7 people hanging out, chatting away, giving him some encouragement on. And
Props. Yep.
this is big props to him. Lots of people giving him little bits of little bits of emojis
Tyson,
popping around
Power,
all over the
yep.
place. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and that's really what it's about, is all the fun. Barney's giving us a wave. He knows he's live. Always great to see him, and big supporter of the community. So we love him. And it looks like he's heading back on over to Watopia. So we'll let him do that as we jump back in with the rest of the racing.
Oh boy! So you're jumping in with some monsters here. This is Kirkmeyer that we're looking at. This team, they've been team time trialing quite a bit, participating in our weekly. This is the 86th week of racing in the WTRL. They also are in the ZRL. They've got one more team time trial next week on Tuesday to wrap up the Community League. That'll be the 10th consecutive week of racing there for this squad. So they've been the quantity and the quality from Kirkmeyer has been amazing this year. They got the full team in full effect. So I'm expecting another. There you go. It's it's close. It's only 12 seconds back to Vikings Valhalla, and not. Yeah, okay. So that's the real race right there. 12-second split.
Right to the line here. Well, I mean, you can pull that back. You can pull that back in the last
Oh, yeah.
2K. I mean, I've had a situation
Not easy
where
against these
if we
guys.
fade, in the last,
Sure.
I've lost a solid 10 seconds, 15 seconds in the last 6K. So, I don't think it's going to be happening. I think Kirchmer are really flying here at this point, taking down the
They got a lot of
Rhinos,
guys,
as you
too.
can see. And they're supposed to be now. This is not from the Mochas though. So in the Mochas is where we really find the supporting cast. We might jump in with some of the supporting cast here in just a moment to get an idea of how things are playing out. Absolutely loving the poster competition still here, but this is going to be the finish up for the Kirchmer now. 5.7 here coming from Michael now, Schubel now as well. And then it's going to be Zisselberger. I think if I'm hopefully getting that right there, jumping up a little bit here, getting up in the 60 kilometers per hour. They need 4 across the line. There it is. Let everybody else go. Michael's going to hold on.
Zitzelberger there, yeah. They got 4. They did it perfectly. So they put on a clinic out there, Kirkmeyer. They really, really have refined their craft, Nathan. Finishing with 4 guys is a good sign because that means they had. So, yeah, that's awfully hard to beat.
ZRG
Taking
4-5. You do see here they've got a solid group still together. This
Here's
is
a team name.
Now Viking Molnar, they're only 2 seconds back. They're already across lines. We'll have to see the results here. This is gonna be a tough one.
This team name doesn't just roll off your tongue. That's for sure. ZRG R TTT3 finishing up whole squad.
It's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't just. But let's go ahead and see if we can jump in, find our TBR big ring, RTD2s. We'll see if we can find them out on course here, and some of the other D Mocha categories that are out on course. We definitely want to see if we can jump in with them. It's always great. Mr. Milkshake.
I think I I should hold my tongue until I see the squads here. Always great having all of you out there racing, though. I know down in the other categories, Nathan, they have a tremendous
There's
amount of fun.
Milkshake. We got
There
him.
they are. Yep. Our man. Looking good. Let's get it together, boys.
This is going to be the Mochas here.
They got a. Oh, look. Are they making a catch here? They're one of the
Looks
best
like
teams
they
in the
are
world.
Catching. They
Yeah,
are catching Team
yeah.
Type 1, it looks like, A1Cs.
Oh, it's
so-
tough on a 2% grade. You like to get that snap to go right by the team. Just lift your wattage up a bit for 30 seconds at the same time the team that you're passing just eases for a moment. It allows for a nice transition as a team goes
It's
by.
a 1
Teams have been
second
getting-
difference, Dave.
Whoa!
1 second
Oh, my
difference between
God.
Team TFC Hurricane
Well.
and TBR Z6M1, actually. And then it's
What a
only
day.
11 seconds back to CLS at this point. They did just
They're
catch
not out
Team
of it.
Type 1 A1C CS. They seem like they're having a tough day out there today, 35-28. They were the 6th seed out. So they're not – I think they're just having a tough day because they're usually super fast.
This is the team that won the poster competition, TFC Hurricane. These guys are killing it out here with a 33.52, but just 1 second back to TBR Z6M1. We got ourselves a Donnybrook here, ladies and gentlemen, as it could be anybody's races. Nathan notes never count out CLS Racing. They're sitting not that far back. So if anyone falters at all, you never know. Every now and then you get two dogs fighting for a bone and a third
Well, we
one
are seeing
coming
that
to-
faltering. They got the sticky draft coming through. It didn't work out well for them going through
Oh, boy.
the Team Type
Oh,
1.
boy.
They've got to speed up here. They could lose this. This is that 1 second with Team TFC.
Unreal.
Right now, they need the 4th rider, and they're slowing. That Salazar and they're not doing it here. They need to get across.
It is pandemonium right now. Holy cow. It looks like a snow globe that someone shook up. There's just riders all over the place. Let's see what's going to come. So obviously, this is not the ideal situation when you're overtaking, is to have this type of disruption. This is not the chaos that you're looking for.
Not at all. Now it's just going to be a gallop to the line. Sprint.
Oh,
Here we
boy.
go. Milkshake's
close.
just like goodbye. Blythe is like, come on, boys. He wraps it up
off.
to 6 watts per
Yeah.
kilogram. And
He
now
hit
it's a
the
race to the
turbo.
line. Team Type 1 are racing with TBR at this point. Blythe is gone. And he's like, forget it. It's a scratch race at this point.
As they
James
say in
Guerra's the
Australia,
show.
that finish is a dog's breakfast right there. Not pretty.
And Salazar. Oh, come on, Salazar. And this is a mixed team, actually. It looks like mixed genders team. The 2 women are coming across the line. It's gonna be Smith and Salazar. So good on them.
Oh, right on.
Not waiting up for the ladies though. Come on, boys. Not polite at all. But I guess not opening any doors. Everybody's got to hold their own. It looks like here out on the, and that's the way it is in team time.
Team time trial,
so.
right? Team trial has no mercy.
No mercy at all. Let's see if we can find some.
Wow,
of the other,
that was exciting.
That was
exciting.
great. That was really great out here. As I do believe a lot of our teams will have already finished because those were our top seeds in the Mochas. So I'm assuming that across the board, as we jump back into the pens, so we're just going to go ahead and bring these two guys. Whoa, that's an interesting scene. That's definitely. And
Black
so,
Album. Yeah.
the Black Album, with the supporting cast of the half-filled data there situation. So we'll be waiting for
Fun
the
day.
results to come on in. Super fun day. As we wait for the results to come in, I just want to throw a reminder out there to everybody. If you want to get the results throughout the entirety of the day, WTRL.racing is the place to head for that. We still got zones heading throughout the rest of the day. I'm going to be racing again tonight in Zone 8 in the Espressos. I'm really
I'll watch
having a lot of fun over with the OTR, on the Rivet Hayes crew. Thanks. I appreciate that, Dave.
I'll be on
It's
Twitch.
gonna be a
What
lot
is
of-
it? Is it Peter or Paul, your teammate, that we're all rooting for?
I thought it was Stu.
Stu. You're right.
I thought it was.
You know what?
But
We've had a lot-
everybody's
we've had
like
a lot going
poor.
on.
Patrick. It was poor Patrick. Sorry, Patrick. Poor Patrick.
Yeah.
Poor Patrick was a thing in chat where everybody's like, "Oh, come on, Patrick. Let's go." Because on the climbs or what, depending on the section, and when somebody heads to the front, they get to the front and they're like, "Ease it off, Patrick."
Well,
and all they got to say is the word Patrick, and people know, okay, we're maybe going a little too fast right now.
He's in the unenviable position of being the fourth strongest guy on a team that relies on the fourth rider's time to finish. And those are the real heroes. I'm going to just say it. That's my hero, is the fourth strongest guy.
They're also the guys that don't have push to talk on, and all you hear you hear this over and over again in Discord, and you're like, all right, I'm just gonna mute this guy, and this guy, and I need to be able to hear the DS. So when you do a Twitch stream, if you are gonna live stream, just have some awareness of what's happening in your audio that's going out to the rest of the world. It's okay if the rest of Discord are fine with it in your Discord chat, but
this is a public service announcement from your friends at Zwift Community Live.
Turn on your push to talk. I was even in the 2020 Discord the other day, and they didn't really understand the push to talk ideas or what was happening on there, and there was a whole lot of going on all over the place, and I was like, hey guys, you can turn on push to talk. Oh, yeah, okay, gotcha. And, you can mute this. So it quieted things down pretty quickly for a much calmer situation, that's for sure. So, and if you don't want to get muted,
palatable,
if you don't want to get muted, a lot of people probably don't even know that they're getting muted. They don't even know that push to talk is a thing. So they're just jumping in Discord and having fun, and they don't know that like half their team is not even listening to them because they're just muted, so... Check out the settings. All right, let's take a quick look here again at WBR next week. We are currently, where are we at on the fundraising at this point? Let's we actually maybe bring Martin in. Martin, give us an idea here, Martin. Martin, he's the Wizard of Oz in the background. Martin Carew hanging out over at WTRL. He's always here helping us out with all the data. Martin Carew. What are things at for WBR and the fundraising at this point, Martin?
Well, we have enough for 106 bikes so far, so we're about a third of the way through. We're aiming for 340 bikes, I think it is. So it's $50,000 US.
Awesome.
Right,
so
good.
We are at 106. We're aiming for 340. Get on it. Let's go. Next week, TTT, WBR. Let's take a quick look at that video, give you an idea of the people and the support, and we'll chat a little bit about what that's all about, and then we'll take a look at the results.
Of that final shot there, the overhead shot, is you can see how slowly the person is walking versus the person on the bicycle that is making the same amount of physical effort and is moving 4-5 times faster increasing their range. That mobility means everything for a micro economy and people trying to work and really, I think most importantly, in this case, would be getting to schools where it's insane to think about a 10-year-old kid spending 5 hours a day walking to and from school. There's so much more you could be doing with your life, like learning and other important things, not just getting somewhere. So that's why these bicycles make such a huge difference. I don't want to go on like a broken record, but if you buy one of these bikes and support World Bicycle Relief, that could be the best hand up that you could give right now.
100%. Thanks. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, Dave. I had the pressure put on me to get 10 bikes. So for my personally, for me to get 10 bikes to happen there. So we'll see what we can make happen.
Come on, Nathan's
within
people.
Within each team too, there was let's have a competition between the teams. How many bikes can happen? A lot more announcements too for some incentives there, some incentivizing around the WTRL too. I think about how that's going to happen. Results are in though. Let's go.
I heard you're not racing on Buffalo bikes. Don't worry, people. So, okay. Socks for Watch does it again. We should put them on Buffalo bikes. How about that, Nathan? Is that a possibility? Just kind of level the playing field? Because these women are absolute superstars. Socks for Watch WRT does it again. 38:45. See, so I race like a girl, only 33 seconds back. That's a strong second place. Excuse me there. The Choppers finishing in third. Socks for Watts Aero Unicorns fourth. Cryo RDT Wrens in fifth. And Sisu Du in sixth. So that's what it looked like today in the Vienna Espresso category, the cream of the crop. I think we're just kind of collecting our data. There's Vienna Frappe.
Yeah, yeah, the Banditas, they were also really strong in the ZRL with the 4140 we're seeing here coming on through. BLZR there coming on through with a 42.29, 40 seconds back. Z-Sen Hypernova followed up by Sunrise Racing Team 2. Cryogen Blue Jays, and then it's going to be Sox Watts, Sox and Roll. Then La Rebeldes, Sox for Watts Old Sox, and then it's going to HDR Blue. Is that going to be Bells? And then
Babels,
Babels there, followed up by Adam Racing Team Electrons. Now, across line for 10th place. A tight race there, 2 minutes 47 back for
some
the
new
top
names.
10. Lots of new names, actually. There's the Vienna Lattes.
It's great to see. Yeah, thanks, Nathan. It's the Chaserettes taking the win in Vienna Latte. Congratulations. It's Vikings Iden in second, silver medal for them, and then Slozel, Taboo, bronze medal winners. It's Evo Comets in fourth, Sox for Watts Whatnots in fifth, Las Valientes in sixth, GC Mad Jalapenos for seventh, Vikings Embla eighth, the Australian Hump Day Ride, the AHDR Hot Toddies in ninth, and Z-Sun R Pluto rounds out our top 10 for Vienna Latte.
And then we've got the Vienna Mochas coming on through. It's going to be Slovenian Zwifters here. Pink is 46.40, followed up by Betty Squad there, 47.24 for second place. HDR Watt Cookies Live by Cycling Gold in fourth there, just behind them. Oh, it was a close race, 15 seconds back. PCCR Partners, they're back almost a minute, a little over a minute actually, for fifth. El Huracan, and then Vegan Fireflies battled it out for sixth and seventh. Evo Stars there at 4 minutes back and eighth. Pop Hearts battled 6 second difference, eighth and ninth, followed up by HDR Degenerates there in 10th place. Holding on though. Solid. The Dopios, this is a hot one because look at all the zones coming on in, not just platinum. And this is, I think there's going to be new invites coming across. We'll have different things happening for new events. We're going to try and cover things in a way that gets more involved. But Cryo RDT Vultures, 36.09, 12 seconds. I thought that the Z-Sun were going to be unstoppable. Cryo RDT proving us wrong.
Wow, they scorched the course out there. Vultures in full effect. Cryo RDT, nice job for the gold medal. Z-Sun R, The Red Giants, one of the top teams in the world, as Nathan says, only 12 seconds back. It's WTRL. That's the World Tactical Racing League Squad Volendam edition for the bronze medal today. They were within 20 seconds at 19 back. And then INC Innovation for fourth, Vision D-Pack in fifth, No Pants R3RE Racing Team in sixth. So I highly doubt they go by Slowzel. You're right, Nathan. So I'm going to say the SLOZL Leibach team in seventh, VCRT, the Doggos in eighth. How could you not love the Doggos? And then it's Ram Raiders in ninth. Everybody within 1 minute. What a high level of racing. Doppio. That was the category to watch, it looks like, Nathan, with the top three teams within 20 seconds of each other.
Very close racing. This is the top of the top two, the Doppio for the men's, just so everybody knows. If you're unfamiliar with the new coffee classes that are being developed, new coffee classes that are being developed. Here's the Espressos with Evil Warriors at a 37.01. Innovation Alien Monsters are 37.17. Relentless Anarchy 1 second back for third place so far on the day. All this is coming out of zone 2, actually, with Dirt Diggler there, 37.31. On the River Blur there, 37.34, only 3 seconds back. What a hotly contested. This is very close here. Lost Torpedoes.
I might have been wrong.
Espresso, Cryogen Gulls tied only a 7/100ths of a second for 7th and 8th. Innovation Rebels there, 37.50, 3 seconds back. Oh my God, they killed Kenny, 30. This is tight racing in the Espressos. Crazy fast. Really cool to see the top 10 all within 1 minute. In some of these races, down to the hundredths of a second. So solid job there for the top 10 in the Espressos. Let's go ahead and take a look at the frappes.
I'm a bit of a Team Time Trial purist. I absolutely love the course we raced on, Greater London Flat, and so does Bloop. Nice name. And the frappe winner, Bloop, with the 37.27, 23 seconds back was R3R Fleetwood Mac. Good job, guys. Keep it up. INC Alien Express in third. And look how close it was to be on the podium as Kirkmeyer East Cycling 4 right there in fourth place. The SLOZL Big Strong Guys team in fifth. They were right in front of the Vikings Fenrir, finishing sixth. Z Scott Kelpies in seventh, R and K. That's Rowan King. The Gazelles in eighth, Evo Vortex 1 ninth, and INC. The Euro Aliens 2 round out our top 10 for the frappes.
In the lattes, Kirchmarie Cycling, they end up taking it down. It was only a 1 second difference coming into that last split, but they end up walking away a little bit here. 39.40 with a 6 second gap there to Vikings Valhalla. Vikings Molnar coming on in at a 40.56 there. Then it's going to be Team TFC Raptor, followed up by ZRGRTTT3. 41.17. Lost some time on that last up. We saw the disorganization from them a little bit. Cryogen Emus there coming on through. 1 second difference between them and the Rhinos. Valhalla, Yalahorn there. 41.28 for 8th. Team ODZ Destroyer of Cookies get in for 9th. And then Tugas Nada, 41.40. A couple of teams there. Team TFC Raptor, Cryogen, as well as ODZ with the Cookies. They come in from a couple of other zones out there, not in the Platinum League, so congratulations to them. And then this is almost all PL with Hurricane grabbing at the top there.
They win 2 times in 1 day with the poster and now putting the fastest time up there. And this was a battle royale. They're 8 seconds faster than Team CLS Racing D. So Team TFC Hurricane in full effect. They absolutely tore the course up today. Good job to our silver medal winners, Team CLS Racing D. And then they're right there, so close for the bronze medal. That's TBR Z6M1. This category is always fun to watch. So in the Mochas in 4th place, it's Engulf. 5th is Tugas Palmier. In 6th, it's TBR 007. 7th place going to BMCC. 8th is Engrave. 9th is TT1A1C, so Team Type 1, the A1Cs. And then, rounding out your top 10 is WMZ4. Great racing out there, guys.
Next week, Sand and Sequoias, 2 laps. We've got, we're 16,000 into 50,000. registration closes 1 p.m. Central Time next Wednesday. It's number 87 TTT for World Bicycle Relief. This time of year, always awesome to give back during the holiday season. So make sure to get registered for that. Well, that's going to be it for us here. Number 86. It's not done and dusted, but we're going to 86 out of here until I have to get on the bike later tonight. We also there's a lot going on this week. Still this weekend, we're gonna have a couple of events with Omnium for Triumph. Make sure to check that out as well. Head onto your companion app and look up those Omnium for Triumph. All about inclusion. Very cool. Pushing the platform a little bit too with some ways in which they are getting people on Zwift that don't have a traditional setup. So it's kind of cool. We're going to have some live shots about how that's happening during those programming.
Like hand cycling people?
Not
Nathan?
just hand cycling. There's also some other contraptions like devices that make it just easier for individuals that might not be able to climb onto a bike necessarily, right?
Okay.
People.
I'll have to watch the show.
Cerebral
I'll watch the
palsy.
show and
Think
find
of
out.
somebody who might have cerebral palsy, somebody who might, like somebody with a certain disability where getting on a bike is just not a reality, right? But they're still able to pedal some other kind of a device and be involved in a ride together. So,
That's great.
So that's the whole idea there. There'll be a couple of different situations, and all of those situations are super unique as well. So it's gonna be
Sounds
cool.
like a lot of creativity has gone into trying to get these folks out Zwifting. So good for everybody for being using ingenuity to overcome. Don't let anything hold you back.
Yeah, and I mean, think of the ingenuity when you see people crossing the line in those. I mean, that's exactly what it is. That with these situations where you have these captains getting riders across, or not just riders, but athletes and individuals, participants across the line in these Ironman situations. We've seen those before, right? And so that's the whole idea is where you're getting people participating in events that they wouldn't be able to do otherwise. So, it's pretty cool. And we'll hear stories actually from individuals that are participating in this throughout the broadcast. So it'll be great. We got a pro ride as well as an inclusion meetup that's happening, mainly because the reason we're not using an event for that is the inclusion meetup makes it possible to keep everyone together. So that's going to be happening on Sunday. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody. It's going to be it for us here. We will see you for this weekend, and then make sure to be checking out, obviously, the WTRL number 87 next week for WBR. And throughout the rest of the day, if you want to go support some Twitch streamers, go ahead and head over to the Zwift category over there, because people do stream their TTT efforts all day long. You saw it with Barty just a little bit earlier. So really easy to find them throughout the day. But that's going to be it for us. We'll see you guys over the weekend as well as next week for the final round of the Zwift Racing League. Nathan Guerra, Dave Towle, ZCL. As always, everybody, ride on.
Right on.